What is up, everybody, and welcome to RotoGrinders NFL Showdown pre-lock. But it's not Showdown. It's actually a two-game slate on Monday Night Football. Got another two-gamer coming at you. Should be a fun little something to end the weekend of NFL football. And we got the three-man booth for the two-gamer. That's how we roll over here. So let's start off with Beermaker, who's going to be joining us here today. Beer, I'm so happy, man. You know, a lot of guys would call in if their team was in the NLCS here, kicking off in a little bit, and he was going to sweat that. But then some guys know you show up for the job and you get the good karma points for your team. So we're happy you joined us, Beer. How about them Brewers, man?
Man, riding high. We gotta slay the giant here. So I'm not holding my breath. I'm just glad they advanced. Pat, they've been knocked out in the opening round a couple of years in a row. So. If this show is at 8:30, this might be a different discussion, but ready to talk some football. I love these two-game slates. We've talked about this before. Showdowns are fun, but we mix it up. I like how they're doing this with the two Monday night games. A couple of good games too. We got some high totals. We got injuries. We got a lot to break down here. So we'll save the baseball talk. I appreciate the well wishes. Go man, Brewers.
We go baseball too. We don't care.
We put baseball behind us.
42 minutes till kickoff. We got plenty of time. I'll just throw this one out at you, Beer. Here's what you got to watch out for with the Dodgers. When they get back home, they led the league this year at home in home runs, and it's a pitcher's park. I've said it on the Grinders Live before. Something shady going on there with the Dodgers. You know what I'm saying? Something shady. Oh, yeah. So you got to watch out for that.
You got to get two at home for sure.
In Milwaukee, I think you got a shot here if you can get through this bullpen.
Fired up. So
you got to get through
excited
tonight. Tonight's a tough one because Snell is a beast, and you're doing some things. But on the other side over there, Davis Mattek is joining us. Davis, how are you doing? Before I got a question for you, but how are you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man. Life's gold over here, Chop. What's up? What question you got for me?
Well, Beard just said he likes the two-game Monday night NFL slate, and I don't mind it. But what I did find myself yesterday on Sunday afternoon, 3 p.m. Central Time, when the afternoon games start to kick off and all that good jazz, I found myself like cussing the NFL. Like, what is this? There's too many overseas games. There's too many of these. And you're giving us this little week 3 gamer in the afternoon. Everything after the morning time seems so anticlimactic. So what is your take on the NFL? What would you like the NFL to do to make a perfect Sunday schedule for us, but still yet maintain the Monday Night Football?
I think one Monday Night Football game to end the week. I'm hip. I think everyone other than the NFL and Amazon Prime hates Thursday Night Football. Thursday Night Football sucks. Teams hate it. Players hate it. Coaches hate it. We hate it, right? Got to start your week on Thursday. How many times have you, I meant to make a waiver move and I didn't, and I left this guy in. Horrible, right? I'm in a million leagues. It's like, dude, I might have left some inactive guy in there on Thursday, some guy on bye, whatever. I think the perfect schedule is 10 games at noon. Then you do 5 games in the afternoon window, Sunday game, Monday game. It's perfect. It's pretty. I think everyone in America, we could get universal bipartisan appeal on that job.
5 games in the afternoon sounds good. That sounds good. The 3 gamers and 2 gamers that they throw at us, not so much. But we got 39 minutes till this thing kicks off, guys. We appreciate you joining us there in chat. If you haven't partaken in the show before, man, we like the questions. Fire off all the questions you want. 2 games, showdown related, season long related. Who cares? Just fire them off. Baseball related, we'll answer those. I don't care, man. We'll do it all, man. I'm staying in tune with everything. So fire off all the questions you want. We're going to get to it. We're going to talk through some players and talk through some props and all that good stuff. And eventually we'll get to this thing, man. And it'll be kicking off before you know it. So I guess we dig right on into it, fellas. We got 2 games here, which means 4 quarterbacks to choose from. We'll start off with Davis. It seems like there's a great divide. There's the top 2 and there's the bottom 2. And there's a pretty big gap in between them. But maybe not in your opinion. I don't know. How do you see the quarterback thing playing out tonight?
All right. I mean, I got a hot take. I think that Jaden Daniels is definitely better in this slate than Josh Allen. I think the Buffalo Bills are just going to like 6 offensive linemen, James Cook, Ray Davis, Ty Johnson. I think they're going to boot on throat, 8-minute drive, 7-minute drive. I said, Chop, I think I said this the last time you and I did a slate. I said that Josh Allen already won his MVP. They don't need to be. He doesn't need to throw for 350 yards. They're a little banged up, right? Kincaid not playing, Curtis Samuel not playing, so they have to elevate Elijah Moore. This fella Jackson Hawes is out there, who's basically a 6 offensive lineman. I like Jaden Daniels. I think in my stuff I actually have more Caleb Williams than Allen as well. Not to say you should fade Josh Allen or anything like that. But of the quarterbacks who's most likely to get to 40 pass attempts tonight, I think I would say Josh Allen is last. I think I would say he's 4 of 4.
Yeah, I don't think it's a hot take. I think I'm seeing a lot of projection systems out there having Daniels ahead of Josh Allen as far as just raw points, which is kind of weird to think about. But also at the same time, you didn't mention Michael Penix, so are you just not liking the Penix tonight?
I think like 70% of my stuff in my last run was all Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels. Like my top ROI lineup, actually, funnily enough, top ROI lineup in my sheet right now is a Josh Allen team. So maybe I'm lying to you, Chop. Maybe I'm telling fibs out here. So I'm seeing a lot of Josh Allen, but I'm not getting very much Penix at all.
Yeah, you're not lying to me. You're lying to the viewers, brother. So yeah, take it up with them. Beer, 4 quarterbacks out here. You have similar thoughts as Davis, or you drawing the line somewhere else?
I think the best point per dollar play and factoring in ownership is Caleb Williams tonight. And I get the upside of Allen and Daniels. I think they're both phenomenal. I don't have as strong of a take as Davis about Allen. The points are valid. You could have the same concerns with Daniels, with the knee brace and things, and he may shed that tonight. I haven't heard, but and he still was running, so it's not like he didn't run at all in that first game back. But I think Atlanta can push this Buffalo team, and when in those kind of scenarios, we know that Josh Allen can put the cape on and put up a score that you're going to need. But Caleb Williams at his price, massive discount ownership off the other two. Saves you some money. Slate's a little tougher on the pricing tonight. So I'm going to put Caleb Williams at the top here, and he's the quarterback I'm going to have the most of. I'm going to have a big slew of all 3 of these guys, no doubt. Penix, tough to get to. I'm not going to call him unplayable, but it is highly, highly, highly unlikely that he goes out there and puts up the number that you need. Now, this could be what Davis said, and Buffalo just trounces him, and he's throwing the whole game, and he ends up at 350 yards and some touchdowns, and there he is. So if anything, and if I'm using Penix, it's an all-on onslaught of the Falcons. I'd have a bunch of them in one lineup with him, and I just hope that they are throwing the entire game. But I got Caleb 1, I got Jaden 2, I got Allen 3. The separation isn't that big between the 3, but the point being Caleb, I think, great point per dollar option tonight. He gives you that mobility too, Chop. He can run a little bit just like these other guys, and he's going to be a fraction of the ownership in tournaments.
All right, so that's quarterbacks. So then when you on a 2 real quick, we're going to go to wide receivers next. I want to transition over there since we're just talking about passers. Let's talk about pass catchers. 2-game slate. I'm going to hear from both of you. Beer first. On a main slate, we're stacking a quarterback with at least a wide receiver, maybe a tight end, maybe 2 guys, like 100% of the time practically. What's your stack rules kind of in your head on just a 2-gamer?
I like to go crazy. I like to get, way beyond what anyone else is going to do. Most people are going to put 1 or 2. I'm fine putting 3, 4 potential pass catchers with a quarterback, and really just hoping one team, one game goes nuts. You can focus on just one game instead of kind of picking and choosing between the 2 games as one way to go. You could play quarterback naked is another, a little more risky with everybody stacking, but these running quarterbacks, Josh Allen runs in a couple touchdowns. I don't need Keon Coleman. I don't need Khalil Shakir. So Those are two ways, and you're looking for small ways to get different, small edges. Those are two that I like to utilize, really overstacking or understacking these mobile quarterbacks.
Davis?
I think overstacking, if I had to rank them in order of preference, I would say overstacking first, naked second, and then just like single stacking third. Because, the two gamer, this is, you got to think a lot about DFS to get here, but you're actually more likely to get a dupe in a two gamer because people who play showdowns are pretty hip to the concept of dupes and like, oh, I need to do this to get unique. And a lot of built-in tools have ways to avoid dupes like inside of them. Whereas a lot of people are actually just using two game stuff or optimizers for a two game. They're not using any kind of sim based product. So you're going to get a lot more dupes. Like your Josh Allen, Keon Coleman team, you're fighting a lot of people. You're swimming upstream with that.
Fair enough. Pass catchers, we're here. So projections are going to give you a few guys at the top, and then a little bit of a gap, and all that good stuff. I'll say this: Drake London. We don't like Penix, but maybe the best wide receiver on the slate is a Penix wide receiver, which is Drake London. On a side note, I read something a couple weeks ago about how he really hasn't flashed very much upside since Penix took over. He's been okay, didn't flash a lot of upside. And then I traded him away in season long, and he promptly went out there last game and dropped like an 8-1-10 and a touchdown, and silly, man, just silly stuff going on. So, but he's without Mooney tonight. There's a lot of numbers there that say, when there's no Mooney out there, Drake London is very good, and he's a massive target hog. So start off with Beer. You didn't like Penix, but what about Drake London?
No, I like Drake a lot. I mean, the targets are there and the upside point is valid, but we've seen some big games out of this guy. And again, if they're going to have to be throwing a lot, I love Bijan. We'll get to that. Everybody loves Bijan, but Drake London, to me, right up there. Not my favorite receiver on the slate, Chop. I actually prefer Deebo Samuel tonight if I'm choosing between the two. No McLaurin there. They are down weapons. They're creative in how they get this guy the ball. You love the matchup with the Chicago defense. So he is good to go. He is my favorite receiver. London right there with him at the top. And then can't forget about old Roma Odunze. So we got a nice trio there. That's how I would rank them, though, tonight. Deebo 1, London 2, and Odunze 3 of the top guys.
Davis, we got some wide receivers on this slate. Who's your favorite guys, man? And let's talk about the higher range first.
I got Odunze first, then London. Odunze is like, if he had kind of not been bad last year, like he was pretty middling. I think he would be like significantly more popular than London. We just kind of remember that he stank. But I'll give you my real take of the slate, Chop. Luther Burden, third, gets in the optimal. It's the post-bye rookie bump. He is catching more ownership than you would think based off his projection. And like, if you're a real fade the noise style player, you'll be real heavy on Zacchaeus tonight. I'm not a fade the noise style player. I love the noise. I love my young, exciting rookies. That's like why I play the game. So I'm super jamming Luther Burden tonight for the Bears.
So Alex was just asking for you to expand on your love for Caleb Williams and Luther Burden. Is that a pairing you're going with?
Well, first, it's that Washington's defense is pretty bad. Bad secondary, banged up secondary, mediocre pass rush. Caleb really struggles under pressure. I don't really think the Commanders are going to be able to pressure him like too terribly much. They also can't run. I mean, they're one of these teams in the NFL. They're kind of like the Chargers. Like DeAndre Swift's your running back. You just can't get the tough yards. So you're going to be a positive PROE team. And then the Burden stuff is this is actually a true thing that historically speaking in the NFL, rookies tend to get pretty significant boost in their playing time after the team's first bye week. So it would be pretty natural to see Zacchaeus recede in snaps tonight and Burden, maybe it comes 50-50, maybe it's 60-40. But I do really like Burden tonight.
Okay. Well, you mentioned earlier, and I didn't even dip into it, but there are some inactives that matter. A couple of guys who are gonna, it frees up a couple of targets, frees up a bunch of snaps, things like that. And one of the guys that might benefit tonight, once upon a time, Davis, you were the biggest Elijah Moore fan.
I loved him.
What happened to him, and how much do you like him tonight? Only 3,100, and Buffalo's got some snaps to replace tonight.
I like him because he can kind of fill what Dalton Kincaid does in the offense, like, kind of the short intermediate stuff. Moore has a touchdown on the year. I would say Elijah Moore is not good, but he has stretches where he can be good. And it's very hard to find guys who are going to be single digit owned on this slate. Bills have the highest team total. They're playing in the dome. If it does unexpectedly turn into, maybe the Falcons get a special teams touchdown, or whatever. A lot of, football's a weird game. It's an oblong leather ball that bounces in weird directions. Like, I do think Elijah Moore is a pretty good play.
All right, Beer, got a question for you from JD in chat. Talk about Shakir or Coleman. Which one, Shakir or Coleman? Their price basically the same. We got same thing as I just mentioned with Davis, as we got some snaps to replace there for Buffalo. Shakir or Coleman, who you like more?
I prefer Coleman just for the big play upside. Shakir's going to do his thing and get the receptions, the targets, and he could still put a big score on the board. Coleman, more high risk, high reward. He may not get as many targets, as many looks, but without Kincaid, I think both of these guys are in play. If you really break it down, Shakir on DraftKings for the PPR upside, and then Coleman for those touchdowns over on FanDuel is mainly how I'm handling it. But just picking one between the two, I like the upside of Coleman a little bit better.
Okay, fair enough. Davis, we're going to you. What? No, that's enough of that question. Yeah, I'm going to you on running backs because I can't really keep out. I can't, like all the best ball guys. I'm like, I can't keep in my head who said what, but I know there was a lot of people. A lot of people are out there who were high, super high, and still are high on Krosky Merritt, and he's stepping into a bigger role tonight for Washington. So I want to talk about him specifically, and then, just kind of glance on the other running backs too that you like. And is it a big four for you tonight, or is there any interest in any of those guys that are projected under the top four? That there's a pretty big drop off right there.
I mean, I think you could get away playing a little bit of Algier, a little bit of Monungai. I mean, if for nothing else than like in-game injury type stuff. But I've locked one play in this slate in my 150 run. I locked Corey Krosky Merritt. Bill Merritt, locked him in 150. I mean, he should be the most owned player of the slate, 5,600.
Okay, tell me why. I need to know why. Is it Chicago defense? You just feel like it's that bad?
I mean, Chicago defense, he had 28 points last week, got the goal line carry. I think getting the goal line carries over Chris Rodriguez is the big deal. They've had some opportunities to like expand what McNichols is doing. They're not expanding. TJ Rodriguez was not out last week. Rodriguez just didn't play in the first half.
Really? I thought he was out. My bad.
They just straight up did not play Chris Rodriguez in the first half. He came in the second half. Bill even made a mistake in pass protection, and they went right back to him. Actually he had a nice little he had like a 30-yard gain on a pass play, but yeah, like Chris Rodriguez will get a couple. He's actually came in banged up. I don't know if inactives are out there. I think there's a chance maybe he doesn't play. Actually,
he is active. That's
okay.
That's I think what put it in my mind that he was out last week was his injury this week. But no, he is in this week after, like you said, being in all season.
Yeah, he has not practiced yet this week. So my guess is that we probably just don't see very much of him. I think we could see, 22 touches for Bill tonight. And if I tell you that, I mean, what percentage of the time does he outscore one of Bijan or James Cook? 20% of the time, 25% of the time, whatever. Outscores DeAndre Swift, I think, a high percentage of the time. So Bill's my guy tonight.
All right. Pierre, he likes a little Bill Merritt, man. You have the same You have the same level of interest in him, or one thing that I was thinking was while you were saying that, he outscores these guys X amount of times. How many times does, he actually get out touched by a guy like Chris Rodriguez tonight, though? Like, and you said the ball bounces funny, different. You just never know what a coach is thinking.
You never know.
Who knows, man? I don't know, but I'm with you though. He's looked pretty good and everything. But Beer, what's your love for Bill Merritt and then the other guys?
Oh, very high, and that percentage will be low. It's not zero. That there's always, we never know exactly what these teams are going to do, but it feels like the right arc for him. There was a lot of hype. They brought him back down a little bit. We're going to rotate everybody. Okay, let's give him a bigger share. And now we're seeing what he can do. I don't know that they're not going to utilize the other backs. That's the frustrating part. I think they're still going to use all three, but I don't know about a lock button. I like the boldness of that call. I'm going to have plenty of them. But I'm not locking him tonight. So Bijan, to me, easily, we don't need to spend a lot of time on this one. He is clearly, to me, the best play. Tough to make a lineup without him. You certainly can. But he's just the best running back in the game right now, in my opinion. So he's number one. Cook is the one that's interesting. Yes, they should find success here, but he's the one I'm okay kind of avoiding between the three. I will have more Bill than I'll have James Cook tonight. Which that may be a little bit crazy, but it's dipping down further. DeAndre Swift, who knows? Monangai get involved here. That's always a concern. His ownership looks pretty high. So the one that's interesting to me is Tyler Algier, and it's more in a pairing with him and Bijan together in a lineup and hoping Atlanta can just dominate the time of possession, dominate on the ground here against this Buffalo team that's been very vulnerable against running backs. So I think that's one way you can get different. I want to go back to wide receiver real quick, Chop, because I know we're going to get questions about some of these cheaper plays. I like Washington from Atlanta. Are we going to get Kadero Hodge, Sills? I think that's still up in the air. I love the Burden call. We're going to get into another rookie I like here in a bit, kind of in the same vein there for Chicago and Colston Loveland. So there's some cheap plays, but I know a lot of people are probably wondering, is this Washington cat playable? I think so. His role's been great. When Mooney's been out, he's been the guy that's been on the field. So he's the one you feel best about. So if you need a salary saver, he's the way to go at 3K.
Fair enough. So you brought up tight ends. Let's think about some tight ends now. Well, you know what? Before we get to tight ends, let's get some questions from the people. We got a FanDuel favorite GPP Beer.
Favorite GPP play?
Yeah, on FanDuel.
Colston Loveland.
Really? Okay.
Absolutely.
Davis, favorite GPP for FanDuel.
Loveland. Yeah. Loveland's a jam tonight. Loveland,
what?
Dude.
Really? Oh,
yeah,
you're
Loveland Loveland and Burden.
Davis, while you're here and you're talking about Loveland, I got a question for you. If you had to redraft right now, because everybody, and I'm talking about real life NFL, not fantasy.
Yeah.
Everybody, all the guys were running around. Somehow they put the crown on Loveland instead of Tyler Warren when Warren was clearly the productive guy in college. Would you, if you redrafted, would you take Warren over Loveland, or would you still use the age thing as an excuse to take Loveland over Warren?
I would still use the age thing. He's 3 years younger. Tyler Warren didn't start at Penn State till his final year. He was behind Brenton Strange, Pat Freiermuth, Theo Johnson, and one other fella. There was another guy who was tight end Penn State. Not to say that means like Tyler Warren obviously is good and having a huge impact on winning football right now, but think there's plenty left to discover about Colston Loveland.
Some people are saying the Tyler Warren to the NFL is what caused the downfall of James Franklin. He was that important to the program.
He seemed pretty important to Drew Aller. I'll tell you that much.
I mean, it's a big
James
deal.
Franklin was his own downfall. We don't even need to go there.
That's a whole different story, man. You must have some serious cash to blow if you can afford a $50+ million buyout plus the buyout you're going to pay for the next coach you bring in who's already coaching somebody else. I don't know. Such a huge, massive amount. But a couple more questions real quick before we get to the other tight ends here. Favorite salary relief in DK cash beer. It's a cash DK on a 2-game slate. Salary relief.
It's definitely Washington. You need some salary relief for sure.
Davis?
I think it's probably Knox, because the wide receiver spots might be too valuable to use Washington. Like Shakir is not that expensive, because in cash you want the 3 running backs. You want Bill, Cook, and Bijan. You definitely want London. You probably want a Bills wide receiver, and then I don't know if you can fit Rome with Knox. I didn't build a cash team, but I assume you definitely want Knox and DK cash.
Okay, got a couple of tight end questions. First, the first one is Ertz worth a run if Debo is out? We know Debo is in, but is Ertz still worth a run, Davis?
I mean, he had no targets last week. Three games in a row with 5 or fewer points. I think the old man might be slowing down just a little. Pitts, no Mooney. I'm liking Pitts.
Beer, Pitts or Ertz? DK cash from Alex, and then what's your level of interest in Ertz? Period.
I prefer Pitts. I mean, no Mooney. They're down weapons. They're likely going to be throwing a lot here. He's actually been decent. I know we love to talk all the trash about Kyle Pitts, but nothing phenomenal. But he's been better here in the opening couple weeks. So Ertz is fine in tournaments. There's not a ton of upside there, but that touchdown upside is there. They tend to look for him when they get close to the red zone. They're down weapons as well. You got guys out there running wind sprints. We got some receivers there that are interesting. We didn't really talk about in McCaffrey and guys like that. Jalen Lane. So I think he's interesting, but Pitt's just a little bit safer for cash.
Beer, keep on continuing on with any other tight ends you might like. We kind of hit up some of the guys, but is there anybody else in that tight end pool that could you? I typically on a main slate, I'm kind of taking out tight ends from my flex position. I just want wide receivers, running backs. But I don't know what your level. I don't know what your rules are on a main slate. But does that change on just a 2-gamer?
I don't love the upside of this position tonight. So yes, the salaries are tougher. I don't know that it's necessary to go double tight end here. There's not a lot of guys I feel great about. I like Pitts. I don't mind Ertz. Taking a shot with Loveland. That's no sure thing, but. I love the upside that he could be in this offense. They drafted him very highly for a reason. And like Davis said, these rookies tend to get more opportunities later in the season, especially coming off a bye. And it's not like Cole Kmet is out here lighting the world on fire. So I think he's very interesting in tournaments. Cash, you stick to the safer options. Obviously, we have Dawson Knox in play here tonight. Outside of that, I don't know why you would go anything but that kind of core group there. Trying to get cute with a Ben Sennett, things like that. I just think you don't need to do that on this slate.
Davis, wrap us up at tight end.
I mean, Pitts is like definitely the best play by like a lot. This is what the question you have to ask yourself. What percentage of the time does one catch for 1 yard and 1 touchdown make the optimal? So what percentage of the time does Ertz not get 7? What percentage of the time does Pitts not get 7? Knox doesn't get 7. Loveland doesn't get 7. Like, it's definitely not 0, right? Like it's definitely not 0% of the time that any of the guys projected above 7 do not get 7 points, right? Which means, like, yeah, Sennett is a bad play, but he can get what is 7.1, one catch, 1 yard, 1 touchdown. Bates can get 1 catch, 1 yard. I'll never forget this college football thing. This is so long ago, Chop. This is back when I used to religiously watch the Chop college football grind down shows on Friday night. And there was a KU tight end who got 3 catches for 3 yards and 3 touchdowns. Well, I mean, this is probably like a decade ago. And I remember he was in the optimal. It's like, hey man, that's just what tight ends do.
That's what they do. Davis, you're evaluating some tight ends for the NFL draft. You care more about catch radius and good hands or separation?
I honestly probably like soft hands because it feels like that's kind of what NFL teams care more about.
I got a guy for you then, Davis, next year. Tanner Kozio. Look him up.
Oh, I know. A&M or
no, buddy.
Houston.
No. Houston.
That's right.
He gets no separation, but he catches everything. His hands are so sticky. He's got good body control and everything. He's gonna be an interesting one. All right.
We got to help out Jim here, and he said, "Can you guys help?" You keep saying Bill, and I don't know who you're talking about. So.
Apologies, Jim. We're talking about his nickname is Bill, or that's his name, Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt. He's a rookie for Washington, a running back, pretty decent college runner. Not bad, good guy. Seems like good, but that's who we're talking about, Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt. But everybody calls him Bill because that's what he likes to be called. So we got that. Let's see here. Any more questions? I'm looking for questions, guys. If you don't fire them off, we're going to get out of here earlier. But we got about 13 minutes left until this thing kicks off. So before we get too far down the road here, I want to do the plums. Fill it in the plums play of the night for the NFL tonight, 2-game main slate. This is what the people are here for. Give me your best shot. I'm going to start off with Beer on this one. Beer. Your best shot, man, tonight. Fill it in the plums. Who you got?
I'm putting a lot out there in Colston Loveland, so I'm going to stick with it. Again, if you're playing cash games, go a different route, but in tournament, and this could be a 0. But that's a plums play. All the upside or nothing. I want to win or I want to lose. Colston Loveland provides that opportunity, so I think his role grows here. I like the matchup. I am going with Colston Loveland. Plums of the day.
Davis, see those plums and raise them.
Man, I hate to do it. I'm going directionally. I'm going right against Beer. I'm taking Luther Burden. Luther Burden, 6 catches, 88 yards, and a touchdown Monday Night Football against the Washington Commanders, and he hits the optimal lineup on DraftKings.
And you're not going against me because I have some stacks that have the 3 of those. Both of them in there with Caleb and some Rome. So I think there's room for both of them tonight.
Fair enough, guys. You guys, those are some good picks, man. But so I'm not going with like the high volume, the whatever, the high projected guys, all that good stuff. I'm going with somebody who I think Davis just mentioned. Sometimes a 1-yard touchdown catch can sometimes land you in optimal. I don't think it's going to do that tonight, but I have a guy who can get you 3 catches for 3 touchdowns and about 10 yards if it works out right. I'm going to say Luke McCaffrey hits the optimal tonight. I just feel like maybe it's a good touchdown. We're still dealing with some injuries there in Washington's receiving corps. Zach Ertz isn't getting anything. McCaffrey, not a bad player coming out of college. Davis, where'd he go to school? Do you know that one? Luke McCaffrey. Luke
recruited to a quarterback to Nebraska, then transferred to play wide receiver at Rice.
Rice University, Houston University. Rice.
You got to get up pretty early to get Davis Mattek on a trivia about where NFL guys played in college.
Fair enough. Yeah, Luke McCaffrey, a former quarterback, went to Rice. Pretty good player, man. So I'm going him. Not that he's going to outscore Drake London or Rome or Bijan, but I think there's a chance at that price tag. Maybe he's the guy who hits the optimal. Question from Derek in chat. Start off with Beer. DK, GPP, is stacking Rome, Burden, Loveland with Caleb. So a Caleb 3-man stack. Is that too much in a small slate?
I love it. And I have that lineup built a few different ways, not just once, a couple different versions of that. So I don't think so. Overstacking is a way to make yourself different. Obviously, leaving money on the table is a way to make yourself different. I think that's a fantastic. It's risky. Again, Burden and Loveland are no sure things. We're calling them our plums plays, going out on a limb on these. But I absolutely love the overstacking here tonight.
Fair enough. Alex wants to know, is Davis the new DFS Almanac? Davis, are you're the DFS Almanac?
I think I'd have more money if that was the case, Mr. Chop.
Fair enough. No, you do a pretty good job with what you do, man. You stay in your lane, and I appreciate that. Before we do get too far here, though, I do want to give a little RG plug here. 3-day pass promo. Want to try the NFL DFS tools without the season-long commitment for a limited time? Get a 3-day NFL pass. A 3-day NFL pass to get you access to everything you need to crush the slate. You get the optimizer, lineup HQ, player projections, ownership, SimLabs, all that stuff for only $9.99, 3 days for $9.99. It gives you a little sample. Get it on Friday. Then you got Friday prep, Saturday, and Sunday. You got your 3 days right there. Also, the Combo Pro, if you're looking for the NFL DFS access for the whole season, $79.99 for the Combo Pro. It's only $5 more than just the NFL stuff. So the Combo Pro gets you all the combo package and everything. So we got that out of the way. That's a little plug for you guys. This is a bit like the RG tools are really good. Like, they're really good, man. Like, I mean, could I find another optimizer that's a little bit better? There might be one out there. Could I find a player projections that might be slightly better than what you get? Maybe. But the combination of everything, plus you get shows like this, and you get the rankings, and you get that survey with Davis on it on showdowns, and you get the beers, six packs, and everything. Like, this is the spot, man. This is it. This is the spot, RG. So we got 7 minutes left, guys. A couple of questions here. Is Burden worth a captain play if you're playing just a showdown on FanDuel, Davis? You love him, don't you?
FanDuel's tough because he probably has to score twice. But look, man, I'm not. What is he going to be? Like 4% MVP ownership or something on FanDuel?
No,
sure.
It'll be less.
Yeah, send it.
Because there's upside there, and that we've already seen.
Yes.
Even though in a limited role, I mean, he's
65-yard touchdown.
Right.
Yeah.
He's already put a 100-yard game on the board, so it's not something we've never seen before.
Yeah, I'm in.
Yeah. Would you play Ertz today? We kind of covered that. The fellas don't like Ertz too much. You never know.
It's fine. Tight ends, it's kind of ugly. Everybody's just like, there's no standout play.
You never know.
It's the best play, but Ertz is fine.
He's getting a little long in the tooth. What do you think, Beer? What do you think about a Bills over stack and playing both? I don't know. What do you think about a Bills stack, and playing both? What do you think about playing both Falcons running backs? Is that something we would never do on a main slate? But
I like, and that would come with a Bills over stack, and that game plan. Atlanta's crushing it on the ground. You know, Buffalo's got to throw a lot more, so they're down some pieces as well. So using Coleman, using Shakir, using Elijah Moore, using Dawson Knox, hell, even pairing Josh Allen and James Cook, who's a good receiver out of the backfield. So I think any team on the slate is over stackable tonight. All of them, all four you could do it with.
Beer, I'll stick with you. Your favorite low-owned Atlanta option on FanDuel. Let's say FanDuel, their scoring system. Is there a low-owned guy on FanDuel that you like more than anybody else?
Beat Tyler Algier.
Okay. Algier, yeah. I mean, you never know, man. I mean, Bijan's getting so much. If you separate them,
you can use them together. If you're not using Bijan, you use Algier, and whether it's an injury or he's just being more effective, I mean, that's how I would do it. I'm not expecting Tyler Algier to go out there and outscore Bijan in not 1% of the time, but 1% of the time is all you need to win one of these tournaments. So he's definitely in a few of my lineups in both of those scenarios, paired together, or if I'm fading Bijan, I have Algier in there.
Davis, if you're playing DK Cash, who is your favorite defense tonight?
I guess the Commanders. I think by default they get the. It's been a long time. I used to grind cash for all these small slates back in the day when the getting was good. It's been a long time though.
Yeah, I think generally on these kind of things, just pick one at the end, whatever you got left over for money. If nobody scores a touchdown, you'd probably be in pretty good shape. Beer, DK GPP, Josh Palmer or Elijah Moore?
That's a great question. I'm going to go Palmer.
Fair enough. Palmer it is. I think we're all waiting on that big Josh Palmer breakout game. Is it going to happen, Davis, at some point?
He's only been in the NFL for 5 years, man. Come on.
No, just this year with his new team. That's a low blow, man.
I don't know who scores more points, Jackson Hawes, 7th round tight end from Yale, or Josh Palmer. You tell me, Chop.
Josh Palmer's had some good games in his career. I don't want to look it up, but I know he's had.
No, one game when Keenan and Mike Williams were both out, he had like 5 for 103 and a touchdown, and everyone played him that week.
Kincaid and Curtis are out. This means it's a Josh Palmer day, right? You never know, man. The ball bounce is funny. Thoughts on Swift, Davis? Thoughts on DeAndre Swift?
I mean, he's probably my least favorite of the guys who's projected well. So that probably means he's like a jam. Because if I think that, there are probably lots of other nerdy guys who think they know a lot about fantasy sports who think that, which probably means he's a jam.
Beer, DK single entry. Falcons with Pitts or the Bears defense with Loveland?
Loveland, Bears.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Yeah, the boys are high.
GPP, right? Pitts is going to be super highly owned.
Boys like Loveland tonight. The boys like Loveland coming out of the bye week.
I just like the risk in being there before everyone else arrives.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because if they smash this week, or if they'd smashed going into the bye week, what would Burden and Loveland be on? They'd be like the two most owned guys.
Right.
Okay. Hey, man, I'm not judging anybody here, man. I'm just relaying the information. The boys like 19-year-old Colson Loveland, man. They think he's
exactly
the week for him. Yeah, guys, we got about 2 and a half minutes left till this thing kicks off. So we're going to jump out of here. We do appreciate you tuning in. It's been fun. We're going to be back. This is Monday night. So Thursday Night Football Showdown coming up. We'll be back for that one. And by the way, guys, Tuesday, Wednesday, got some college football for you. Get in there. Use your 3-day pass on some college the best college projections in the business. Guarantee it 100%.
Tuttle does a very good job.
Man, you have no idea how he grinds those things. It's incredible. So, but they're good. But we appreciate you tuning in, guys. Thanks for all the questions. Be back on Thursday. Thank you for Davis Mattek joining us. Beer taking time out. Now he's going to go kick back and watch his Brewers in the NLCS. Hopefully pull the upset. TJ behind the scenes. Good luck in those GPPs. But until Thursday, we are out of here.